Hello, and shout out to Mackenzie for this idea. It is advice on adulting. I just put oil on my face because I just washed my face, so enjoy that. So let's jump right in. My advice on adulting is, there's so many things I want to say. Let me think, how do I do this? I think that you have to strike this balance between the freedom and responsibility and self-discipline, and to start thinking of being disciplined as making your life better, not making your life it's so boring and in control and stuff like that. Because I think we think of discipline and rules and organization and schedules as adults trying to control us when we're younger. I actually don't think of that much, but I think most people do. I've always loved schedules. But I think a lot of people do my mom's just trying to control me or making me go to bed early and eat well and blah, blah, blah. And then we get out of that and we're like, yeah, I'm going to eat Lucky Charms for all my meals and stay up till 2 a.m. every night. Lit. And then it's like, dang it. Now I'm tired all the time. I'm eating sugar and I don't feel that good and I didn't get that much done. So it's kind of a confusing thing because in culture, social media, memes for older people, they kind of glorify unhealthy stuff. So if I'm on Facebook, which you guys probably don't go on Facebook, but we're talking about adulting, so that's what the adults are. Well, the older 20s adults. If I'm on there, I'm going to see all these different random memes of people posting things that are when all your friends are getting married, but you're just trying to figure out what to order for dinner. Or it's Tuesday, or no, not, I'm trying to make up a meme on the spot, okay, give me a break. It's Thursday, let's say that, and all I've done this week is order a new pair of pants, or something weird like that. There's tons of memes about how people just can't get it together, and how it's so funny, and I get it, life is hard, so let's laugh and stuff, but it's kind of weird because it's not people aren't really encouraging people that much to get your life together, have self-discipline, aka self-love, self-care, self-love, take care of yourself, and then thrive in life. It's not really that. It's haha, we're all not doing well together. But it doesn't have to be like that. You and other people can encourage each other to thrive. So, that was kind of a long intro. My advice for adulting, I was trying to use that to preface this so that when I say all this, you don't tune me out and you're like, don't be my mom, because I'm trying to say we can for lack of a better term, I think it's shoot yourself in the foot. We can shoot ourselves in the foot by being I don't want someone to control me, when it's really just us with ourselves, because we're we don't want to feel like we have parents telling us what to do, which we don't. And then we'll end up living life in a weird way. And then we end up making things not good for ourselves just because we wanted the, quote, freedom, the freedom to eat Lucky Charms for every meal, which you always have that freedom anyway. So with that being said, my advice is, I think it all comes down to two things as a really broad statement, which is and this goes for every category of life, getting over the mental blocks and organization. Sounds boring enough, but it's not. Every problem that you have generally comes down to one of those two things. I'm sure there's some that don't, but most problems do. It's either, I have a mental block against this that I didn't explore and get rid of. For instance, you cannot get yourself to do something and you can't figure out, and you just try to make new plans of how to do it, but really the reason why you're not doing it is because there's a reason you don't want to do it that you haven't explored. So that's the mental block. So you got to explore that reason, number one. And then number two, organization. You haven't properly planned for it, or properly planned is normally it, or just you don't have a good system for it. So if every day you're coming in your room and you're dropping your stuff everywhere and making a mess, then to fix that could be two problems: mental block or organization. So the system organization thing could be, you need to have a rack installed where you can hang your purse immediately, and then you need to create a new habit of like, oh, every time I come to my room, I immediately put my shoes right in my closet. That's a new habit, and it's a system. Or there's a mental block there, and you are just rushing from thing to thing to thing because you don't want to slow down for a sec to have to think about your life and your emotions because you're going through a lot. So there's a mental block there, and you have to like sit down and journal through it, however deep and dramatic it is, you got to figure it out, and then be like, oh my gosh, I'm rushing through my life because I'm so stressed. What am I so stressed about? And then you deal with it, and then you're like, I want to slow down and be able to handle all this stuff. So kind of everything you have to ask yourself, do I have a mental block here, number one? And number two, am I lacking some kind of organizational system? Probably. So then I bring you to coming to all the different categories of like food and like shopping, grocery shopping and eating out. Hopefully you're not doing that much. And then taking care of like your home and all those bills and all that. And then taking care of your car, taking care of yourself. There's a lot of different categories there. And it's like you grew up for several years, 18 years or less, I don't know, or more. And your parents were telling you kind of generally like you had to be home at this time. They made you dinner, they did your laundry. I don't know how old they did till, but you know, they did a lot of stuff for you. And then suddenly you're doing it all on your own. It's a lot to do. It's a lot of new habits to make. And it's a lot of categories to get a hold of. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to get them all handled at once. But you want to go through them and come up with systems for everything. So I do my laundry every single Saturday. I might change that day. I found this awesome new system that I'm going to test out this week where you do a different cleaning thing every day of the week, and it's the same every week. So it's like every Monday you do all the floors in your house, like you sweep all the floors, blah, blah, or you vacuum. Every Tuesday you dust everything. Every Wednesday you clean all the bathrooms. Thursday you pick up the clutter in like certain rooms. Friday you do the kitchen, deep clean, I don't know, stuff like that. And then you just keep picking things up as you go. It sounds like a really interesting system. I'm going to try that. But that's just an idea of like how you can keep things together. And then like for shopping, for grocery shopping, I have an idea of how much I'm trying to spend every month. Well, keep it under that. So then I know how much I'm trying to spend every week. So every week I go to the grocery store, I know what I'm aiming for. Does that make sense? And then with your bills, you need to budget. And this sounds boring, but I swear it's very empowering. That means you have to know like how much you have to spend every month. Like you need to know that. You need to know what your income is every month. And then you need to know what your just baseline expenses that you have to pay are every month, like your car payment, your mortgage or your rent, all those different things. And then you see how much is left over, and of that chunk, how much you're going to save that month. And your savings got to build up because you're saving for something. You're saving for your future down payment for your house, which could be sooner than you think. Well, if you're saving for your future family, you're saving for a wedding, saving for buying a car. There's so many things you can always be saving for. So a lot of people don't like to save because they're like, oh, I just want to spend all my money. That's not good. You also need to have an emergency fund saved up so that when emergencies happen, you have extra money there. And you don't need to save like that much every month, but it's good if you can. But you really got to look at what you spend every month. I don't think we realize how much we spend. I think a lot of people think they're more thrifty than they are. People spend a lot. I know some people who don't really make that much every month, and they spend so much. And some people complain about, oh, I don't make that much money, I'm not doing well. Certain people that I've talked to, work with, and I look at what they're spending, I'm like, oh, of course you're not doing very well. Look what you're doing with your money. It's crazy. So you got to look at what you're doing. So basically, my tips for adulting are figure out if something is an organizational problem or if it's a mental block, and make systems and plans for your life. You will feel so much better. Have structure in your life. You can do all of it. You just got to kind of take on each category one at a time. Don't take it all on at once. It's too much. Take it on one at a time and give yourself some grace, and you will learn through trial and error what things work for you, and you'll get it together. But just don't stop being aware of things. Don't just be like, oh, I don't want to think about my self-care. I'm just going to ignore myself. Or, oh, I don't want to think about my meals. I'm just going to eat out for every meal. Oh, I don't want to think about my finances. I'm just going to spend money. That's where you get into trouble, when you're not aware of things. And it's hard to be aware. It takes a lot of energy, mental strength, but you can do it. So those are my first tips on adulting. I have so many more, but we'll start there.